Is the PPT visible, Pavitra?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, okay, guys. So in the last class, we discussed about the statistical techniques, which comes under the demand forecasting. So on the statistical techniques, the first one is the time series analysis. On the time series analysis, four methods of calculating was there. The first one is graphical method. Second one is the smoothing method, which divides into the semi-average and the moving average. And the last one is the least square method. So under the semi-average method, data are equally divided into two, and on the moving averages methods, it depends on the set of data and the research of the researcher, interest of
Ma'am,
the yeah.
ma'am, the recording has not been started yet, ma'am.
Prismatic bar of Lantan
Okay, Petra.
holes compressed by an axial hole fill the complete
Okay, so the last method is the least square method. So on that we discussed about the linear trend line, which has the straight line equation. The formula is y is equal to a plus bx, and we are having two more equations which is to calculate the constants. So you have to calculate the value of the constant small a and b, and you have to substitute those values on the straight line equation y is equal to a plus bx.
plus element.
Kindly mute. Okay, so the next one is the regression analysis. So here just we are going to see about the simple regression analysis. Okay, so this regression method just says about the relationship between the dependent variable and the independent variable. So this technique, statistical technique of estimating the unknown value of the variable of one variable which is dependent from the known value of the other variable which is independent. So this is in general called as the regression analysis, and in our case just we took an example of the quantity demanded. So QDX refers to the quantity demanded of a commodity X. So we are having several factors which affects the quantity demanded of X commodity, and in the second case, second formula, the quantity demanded is affected due to the price factor alone. So quantity QD is the function of P. So this simple regression analysis is used when the quantity demanded is estimated a function of a single independent variable, that is price. So this is called as the simple regression analysis, and the first equation, the formula, that's for the multiple regression analysis, which having more number of independent variables. So regression analysis, yeah,
I'm sorry.
kindly, yeah.
Can you please start recording, ma'am? Because you are the presenter, only you can start it. No one else can start.
I started already. It's on recording.
No, ma'am, it's not showing anything.
It's recording.
It's on. Recording is on.
Recording is on.
Yeah, it's on. Okay, so the regression analysis with a single explanatory variable, independent variable, is called as the simple regression. So here we are going to discuss about the simple regression alone. It provides, the regression analysis provides the estimate of values of dependent variables from the values of the independent variables. So it can be extended to two more variables. That's called as the multiple regression, and this shows the nature of relationship between two or more variable. And this regression is widely used in the business field. Most of the businessmen, they are interested in predicting the future activities, economic activities, maybe the production, the consumption, for investment, fixing prices, earning profits, and the sales, and so on. So they are interested in predicting the estimating the future activities. So the success behind the businessman mostly depends on the correctness of these estimates which he has to make. And this is also helpful in the sociological study. and also the planning, economic planning, to find out the projections of population, birth rate, death rate, the health indicators, all those things. So this is widely used in this regression analysis, widely used in the business field, as well as the sociological and the economic planning, all those things. And the next slide says about the regression lines. Okay, so this regression line is a linear line which describes the linear relationship between the two variables, because here just we are going to see about the simple linear regression alone. So this regression line describes the linear relationship between the two variables. So we are having this straight line formula, linear one, y is equal to a plus bx. But here we are having two regression equations. Just listen, the regression equation of x on y is capital X is equal to a plus small b into capital Y. Likewise, the regression equation of y on x is equal to capital Y is equal to small a plus small b into capital X. So here we are having two lines, regression lines. One is of x on y. So the other one is of y on x. In our example, that is according to a law of demand, the demand is affected by the price, and we can't say if which one is the cause and which one is the effect. Sometimes the dependent variable acts as an independent variable and the independent becomes a dependent variable. Likewise, the price of the commodity which affects the quantity demanded, in the same way the quantity demanded of a commodity also affects the price. So sometimes the variable has changed its place, that is cause becomes the effect and effect becomes the cause. Likewise, in this regression analysis we are having two variables x and y, one is independent, the other one is the dependent variable. So sometimes the independent variable acts as a dependent variable and the dependent variable acts as an independent variable. So we are having x on y equation and y on x equation. So in the first one, the regression equation of x on y. So in this x on y equation, x is a dependent variable. The first variable is the dependent variable, and the second one, y, is the independent variable. Likewise, in the second equation, y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. Because we can't measure exactly which one is the cause and which one is the effect. Here we can just measure the direction of the variables. So we are having two equations. One is of x on y, the other one is of y on x. Is it clear? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so second one is methods of calculating the regression analysis. So we can use two methods. One is using the normal equation. The second one is through the regression coefficient. This regression coefficient. Okay, I'm hearing some noise. Yeah, okay. This regression coefficient estimates the unknown variable, unknown parameters, population parameters. That is, we are calculating the means, standard deviation, all those things from the population or from the samples. If we are getting all those things from the population means that is called as the parameters, and if we are getting these analysis from the samples means that is called as the statistics. So this regression coefficient refers to the estimates the unknown parameters which describes the relationship between the two variables. That it just says about the degree of dependence. Here just we are going to use the second one through the regression coefficient. So through regression coefficient, we are going to estimate the regression lines. While we are choosing the regression coefficient, we are having the method to calculate the regression line by using the actual mean, which is calculated, the arithmetic mean. The second way is to have the regression line by use of the assumed mean. So the first way, by using the arithmetic mean, So from the data given, from the set of data, we have to calculate the mean of those variables which was given x and y. For assumed mean, just we are taking a value as a mean which is assumed from the variables x and y, from the given variables x and y. So out of these two ways, here just we are going to follow the first one by using the arithmetic mean. By calculating the arithmetic mean, then we are going to, is it clear? We are going to calculate the, okay, kindly mute, somebody's mic is on, kindly mute. Okay, so the regression equation, as we discussed, we are having two regression equations. One is,
Ma'am, you can mute him, ma'am. There will be an option for to mute the participant, ma'am.
okay, where is it, Ritika?
Else you make me as presenter, ma'am. Like make one of us as presenter, ma'am. We'll mute him.
Okay, just a second.
Ma'am, Dheeraj Raj sound is there.
Dheeraj Reddy.
Dheeraj Reddy, please mute your mic.
Okay, thank you, Dheeraj. Okay, so regression equation of x on y and y on x. So in the first case, x on y equation, x is the dependent variable and y is the independent variable, and on the second case, y is the dependent variable and x is the independent variable. So the x on y equation is x minus x bar is equal to b of xy into y minus y bar. So likewise, the equation y on x is y minus y bar is equal to byx into x minus x bar. So out of these two equations, we are having capital X, capital Y values, and x bar and y bar, capital X bar and y bar values, and also we are having small x and small y. So capital X and y are the variables which was given, which was taken, which are used to find out the relationship between the two. Those two variables are called as the x variable and the y variables. So capital X and capital Y was the set of data which was given already, and x bar and the y bar are the means of arithmetic means of those given variables. So x bar have to be calculated with the help of the x variable, and y bar is for y variable. And other than this, we are having the b of xy, which the term is called as the regression coefficient. So we are having the regression coefficient on of x on y and the regression coefficient of y on x. So we are having two formulas to calculate these regression coefficients. So the regression coefficient of x on y, the first one. So out of this first one, b of xy, the x is the dependent variable, y is the independent variable. So this can be calculated with the formula of equation of sigma xy, small xy. Not on the formula, here it is small xy. Sigma xy divided by sigma y square, and b of yx can be calculated with the help of sigma xy divided by sigma x square. So in the first one, b of xy, y is the independent variable, so we are taken the y square value, and on the second one, x is the independent value, so we are taking the independent square value. The other thing which is below the formula is the other method to calculate the coefficients of x on y and on y on x. And in the second equation, we are having the alphabet small r and the sigma x and sigma y. So these small r, in the two equations also we are having small r. This small r refers to the correlation. Correlation also explains the relationship between the two variables, and the sigma x refers to the standard deviation of the x variable, and sigma y is the standard deviation of the y variable. If the set of data were given means x and y variable were given mean, we have to use the formula sigma xy divided by sigma y square and sigma xy divided by sigma x square. if the correlation and the standard deviation was given and you are asked to calculate the regression equation from the informations given, means you have to use the second formula, R into sigma x divided by sigma y. In the second one, R into sigma y by sigma x. But normally the problems will be based on the first equation, that is the set of x and y data was given and you are asked to calculate the regression lines from those informations. So in general we are using the first formula. In case if the correlation value and the standard deviation value was given and you are asked to calculate, means kindly use the second equation. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pa. Okay, so this is the method to calculate the regression lines. So this is the table format. So capital X and capital Y are the values which was given. So we have to find out the relationship between these given values x and y, these given variables x and y. And from this capital X and Y, we have to find out the value of small x and small y. So small x is equal to capital X minus x bar. X bar is the mean value of the variable x. So how to calculate the arithmetic mean from the variable, or how to calculate the average for the variable? Average? How to calculate the average for the variables? If 5 numbers are there, means how to calculate the average from that from those 5 numbers, 5 variables?
Take the middle one and subtract the rest of it from the middle the one which is at third position.
Is it a method of calculating average? Average number, yeah.
Just add all of them and divide by 5.
Add all the 5 and you have to divide the total by 5. Likewise, the same average is called as the arithmetic average, arithmetic mean of the variables. That is here mentioned as x bar. So x bar is the value which is calculated by the sum of x variable divided by the number of variables. That is x bar is equal to sigma x divided by n. N is the number of variables given. Likewise, small y is equal to capital Y minus y bar, and this y bar is equal to sigma y divided by n. So the sum of y variables divided by the number of y variable. So after the x and the y variable was given, you have to calculate the averages, mean, arithmetic mean, arithmetic average mean. All the terms are similar. So you have to find out the x bar value. X bar is equal to nothing but sigma x divided by n, and for y variables it's sigma y divided by n. So sigma x divided by n gives the x bar and sigma y divided by n gives the y bar. So you have to subtract the variable x from its mean and you will arrive at small x as well as the same way for the small y. After calculating the small x and the small y, you have to square up the values. So those x squared and the y squared are the small x and the small y squared. And you are having final column as xy, the product of small x and small y. Is it clear? Is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, pa. So in the regression coefficient, we are having the product of xy and x squared and y squared. That's why we are calculating the small x squared, small x squared, small y squared, and the product of small xy. And here we are having the example. So from the given data, obtain the regression equations by taking deviations from the actual means of x and y series. So you have to calculate the regression equations. So you have to calculate 2 equations, x on y and y on x. And you have to use the actual means of x and y. So you have to calculate the regression lines with the use of x bar and the y bar. So, and with these conditions, you are given the x variables and the y variables as 32748 for x and 61859 for y. So these are the variables which was given, x and the y variables was given, and after that you have to calculate. What do you do after this? The first step is calculate find the mean, x bar and the y bar. So the sum of x variable is equal to 24 and sum of y variable is equal to 29, and the value of x bar is equal to
4.8.
4.8, that is sigma x is equal to 24 by 5 values are there, so 24 by 5 gives 4.8. Likewise y bar is equal to 29 by 5 gives
5.8.
5.8. Yeah, okay. So with this mean, you have to calculate the small x and the small y. So small x is equal to capital X minus x bar. So the first is 4.8, x bar is equal to 4.8. So 3 minus 4.8 gives 1.8. So minus 4.8 gives minus 2.8. So here the signs are important. Please make sure you are writing the numbers with the signs. Yeah, okay. And so after calculating the small x and the small y value, you have to go for the squares of x and the y value and the product of x and y. So from the variables given x and y, you have to calculate the small x, small y with the use of the means of for those given variables, and you have to calculate the squares and the product of small x and y. After this, calculating the everything, after you are going for the equations of x on y and y on x. Sorry, in this slide I faced the same thing again and again. So here we are having a single equation, x on y. So x minus x bar is equal to b of xy into y minus y bar, and the coefficient have to be calculated with the formula sigma xy divided by sigma y square. Likewise for the y on x formula, y minus y bar is equal to byx into x minus x bar. So byx have to be calculated with the use of with the formula of sigma xy divided by sigma x square, small x square. Here this is the procedure. So x bar is the value which we are already calculated, it's 4.8, and sigma xy is equal to 28. Here the value is sigma xy is equal to 28.8, and sigma x squared is 26.8, and sigma y squared is 38.8. Just we are substituting the values. So sigma xy is equal to 28.8 and sigma y square is equal to 38.8, and y minus y bar is equal to 5.8. And you have to simplify this, then you will get an equation x is equal to 0.49 plus 0.74 y. So this equation, straight line equation, linear equation, which is in the form y is equal to a plus bx. So x is equal to 0.49 plus 0.74 y is the equation x on y equation. You have to write it as it is, that is on the straight line equation, x is equal to 0.49 plus 0.74 y. So this is the x on y equation. Likewise you have to calculate the y on equation too. So the y bar value is 5.8 and x bar value is 4.8. Sigma xy is equal to 28.8 and sigma x squared is equal to 26.8. From the table value, just you have to substitute all the values here and you have to simplify those values, and you will get the equation y is equal to 0.66 plus 1.07x. So after calculating these two equations, so equation 1 refers to the x on y equation and the equation 2 refers to the y on x equation. Okay, that's the end of the regression equation problem. So is it clear, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
You have to calculate the means of the given variables, then you have to calculate the small x, small y, and you have to substitute on the formulas, straight line equation, sorry, x on y and y on equations. then you will get a straight line equation, and that should be in the same as it is in the straight line equation, that is y is equal to a plus bx. We have to write the equation as it is. For x on y, it's x is equal to 0.49 plus 0.74y, and for y on x, y is equal to 0.66 plus 1.07 x. Yeah, okay. Is it clear, guys? Yeah, okay. So here also you are having examples. X and y variables was given, and you have to calculate the regression equations with the use of the actual mean. By taking the deviations from the actual mean, you have to calculate the regression lines. So how to calculate the regression equation? Any one of you? Just explain the procedure, how to calculate it. Yeah, it's in this slide. Just you have to explain what to do.
First, take the mean of x and y and subtract each and every of x and y from the respective mean.
Respective variables x and y.
Yes. And then that will be small x and small y. And make one column of small x square, another column of small y square, and the multiplication of the both x and y.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, okay. So after calculating this, you have to substitute all these values on the equation. That's it. And you have to multiply. You know how to simplify this. So simplify the things which you are substitute, and just you will get the equation of x on y and y on x. Yeah, okay. So this is the end of the demand forecasting. Are you guys having any doubts regarding this regression and the time series analysis?
Ma'am?
Yeah.
Ma'am, how do you find R in practice, ma'am? Like the value of R?
Okay. Like regression, one of the statistical measure which is used to find out the relationship between the two variables is the statistical technique, which is called as the correlation. Correlation is denoted by the small r, alphabet small r. So the equation is root of sigma xy divided by root of sigma x square into sigma y square. So the same method have to be followed for calculating the small x and the small y. So the formula is, for find out the correlation, small r is equal to root of sigma small x into small y, that is small x into small y divided by sigma x squared into sigma y square. All are small x. So the same procedure for finding out the small x, that's capital X minus x bar, and capital Y minus y bar. So this gives the value of small y, and from the x variables, the difference between the x variable and its mean gives the small x. So after calculating the small x and the small y and the product of these small x and small y, we can find out the correlation.
Thank you, ma'am.
Both are similar. Correlation and the regression equation, just both are helps to find out the relationship between the two variables. And correlation says the strength of the relationship, whether two variables are strongly related or not. And this regression says about the degree of the two variables. That's the difference. Both are similar thing. And if you guys want to know about the correlation means, you will have it. Under the demand forecasting technique, under the econometric model, statistical model, correlation is also one of the tool which was used to make estimates, to forecast. So if you guys need means we will discuss that correlation too. But both are similar. That's why I just stop it with the regression analysis. Before regression, correlation come. So after discussing about the correlation only, we are coming to the we have to come to for the regression analysis. But correlation is a simpler thing than the regression, because in the correlation just we are having a single formula. After calculating the small x and small y, just we have to substitute and find out the value, and that will be the correlation ranges between the small one and the plus one. So if the value, the correlation value is exactly plus one, means both the variables are highly related with each other. If one changes means the other also changes, and both are moves in the same direction. If it is -1 means on the other side, both are negatively correlated. If one increases means the other will decrease, like the law of demand. So if it is 0 means the correlation value was 0 means that there will be no relation between the two variables. They are unrelated. So these are the analysis, correlation analysis, and both are similar. So I choose to discuss the regression analysis with you. Any other guys? Any other doubts regarding the time series analysis and the regression analysis?
Ma'am, could you repeat the formula of small r, ma'am?
For finding out small r, we are having several formulas for this regression analysis too. For finding out the values, we are having different formulas. Likewise, we are okay. Just a minute. Yeah, okay. So through, if you are I'm speaking about the regression. If you are following the normal equation means, then the equation will be different from the regression coefficient equation. Likewise, in the correlation too, we are having several methods. One of the formula used to calculate the correlation is small r is equal to root of sigma xy divided by sigma x square into sigma y square.
Thank you, ma'am.
It's okay, Patsati. Any other doubts? Yeah, okay. Under this demand forecasting, just we on the whole, demand forecasting is divided into two. One is the theoretical background. So how it should be, what are the objectives, what is the purpose of doing this, why they are doing, and the importance of doing, the significance of knowing about the demand forecasting. All those things makes the theoretical background of the concept of demand forecasting. The second half is the techniques, the strategies, the methods which businessman or industry use for this demand forecasting. And not only demand, they can forecast any economic activity. And for this, we are having so many techniques which stands from the time series analysis and barometric smoothing method, regression analysis. On the econometric model, we are having regression analysis, correlation analysis. We are having so many analysis for calculating the predicting the demand or other economic activities, but just we limit with the regression analysis and the time series analysis. So on the time series analysis, there is a chance four methods are there for calculating the trend line. So out of the four methods, there is chance to get numericals. And likewise on the regression analysis also, there will be some numerical part. So I thought this will be enough for you. But if you guys want to know about more techniques means, then we will go for a discussion for other techniques too.
Enough, ma'am.
Enough. Okay, Aman. Yeah, okay. Under the time series method, so on the whole, you are having only 5 numerical part, 5 chance to get a numerical that is problems in the demand forecasting. One is the graphical method. Just you have to plot the graph and you have to join those dots. That is called as the original data, and you have to draw a line which is called as the trend line from the plotted points. And the second one is the semi-average. The data have to be divided equally into two, and you will get two averages. Those two averages, those 2 points have to be plotted, and you have to join those 2 points. That's it. For the third one, the moving average. So it stands from the moving average, that is number is from 3 yearly moving average, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, even 11 years moving average. So when the data are bigger and bigger means we can go for the more number of moving averages. So normally it will be for 3, 4, 5 years moving averages. So you have to find out the total, and you have to write this total and the average, and you have to write this on the middle of the years which you are taken for the calculation. If it is 3 years odd numbers means normally it will be on the center place middle year. If it is on the even year means you have to write it in between 2 years. Otherwise you can go for the center of process of centering. It's up to you. If you are well versed with the method which is plotted in between the years means just go for that. Otherwise, if you find some difficult means, then go for the process of centering. So that's what we discussed under the moving average method. And the last one is the least square method, which is called as the best fit, the trend line fitting method. That line is called as the best fit. So out of these 4 time series methods, last one, least square method, is the best one. So here you are using the here also we just start with the linear equation. So y is equal to a plus bx, and after finding the trend values you have to plot a graph. If the question is asked to plot the graph means you have to go for a original line and the trend line. Okay, the second part of the statistical analysis is the regression analysis. In the regression analysis, we discussed about 2 regression lines. One is x on y, the other one is the y on x. So dependent and independent variables are interchanged. So we are having 2 equations, x on y and y on x. So we are having 2 formulas, and you have to bring out the linear relationship between the variables which was given. That is x and y variables which was given. So that's it for the demand forecasting analysis. Can we move for the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. Just a minute. Yeah, okay. So the next topic on your syllabus is the law of variable proportions. So this is the law of variable proportion is from the producer side. So after law of variable proportions, we are having the return to scale and the isoquant analysis and the production function. So all these 4, as well as the revenue and the cost. So all these are from the point of view of a producer. How he is selecting the inputs, how he is going to produce the various strategies, techniques, the process, how he is going to transfer his input into an output, and if the output have to be increased means what you have to done with the inputs. All those things are going to be in these concepts, that is law of variable proportions. This is one of the law which says about the output. With the use of the single output, how the producer is going to increase his output in single input with the increasing outputs, and returns to scale says about the profit. So with the outputs, there is 3 chances the producer may get. One is the profit, the other one is the loss, and the third one is the input is equal to the output. No loss on the no profit. So these are the 3 returns to scale which we are going to discuss on the second concept. Then the third one is the isoquant analysis. Do you guys remember about the concept of indifference curve analysis? What's an indifference curve?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
are you showing slides?
No, I'm not showing slides.
Indifference curve is the curve between two goods in which we get the maximum. It depends on many of the assumptions.
Yeah, okay. So indifference
Hello?
curve. Yes, I'm hearing. Yeah. Indifference curve shows the combination of 2 commodities which yields the same level of satisfaction to the consumers. So this is from the consumer side. Likewise, we are having one more concept which is called as the isoquant analysis. This is from the producer side. That is, producer is using the 2 inputs to make a output. So this isoquant is a curve which shows the combination of 2 factors which are used as inputs, and these 2 factors gives the same level of output to the producer. So like the indifference curve, this isoquant analysis is from the producer's side with the 2 factors. On the indifference curve analysis, we just deal with the combination of 2 commodities which a consumers going to buy. Here on the producer side, isoquant analysis says about the combination of 2 factors which a producer use. Here on the consumer side, indifference curve says about the same level of satisfaction, and on the producer side, this isoquant analysis says about the same level of output. Both are similar, both the concepts are similar, but the differences, one is from the consumer side, the other one is from the producer side. So on the producer side, we are using 2 factors, the combination of 2 factors to yield the same level of output, and on the consumer side, it shows the combination of 2 commodities which yields the same level of satisfaction. Both concepts are similar. And the production function says about the strategies, how they are the producers, how they are changing their inputs into output, the process, the strategies, the techniques, how they are changing. So that's about the production function. And revenue and cost curves, this is the topics from your syllabus, guys. So revenue and the cost curves, so how they are fixing the cost. What is the difference between the cost and the price? Cost and the price. Cost and the price of a commodity.
Price is inclusive of taxes.
Taxes. Yeah, okay. What about cost?
It is not, I guess.
Okay. So if there is some tax for the inputs which the producer use means, so the cost of a product also includes the tax for inputs. Yeah, okay. Cost of production is the money which a producer incurred in the process of production, where the input is turned into an output. So all those in all this process, the producer have to incur some expenses, some cost. So that is called as the cost of production, and the price is the selling price of that commodity which includes the profit. So price is equal to cost of production plus profit, and the cost includes only the expense which a producer incurred on the process. Yeah, okay. So we can start the variable proportions of law. That law tomorrow, because these laws are continually to be discussed. That is law of variable proportions and returns to scale. So it's already, the time is 1:15. So we will stop it here. and we are going to see these two laws of variable proportion and the return to scale tomorrow together. Is it okay, guys? Yeah, if you are
Yes, ma'am.
okay, ma. If you are started now means it's unable to complete the law. So we will start it tomorrow, and I'll the same thing, same procedure. PPT will be there. So with the PPT we will discuss the law of variable proportions and the return to scale. Okay, just a minute. I'll download the attendance list. Yeah, okay. Tomorrow the class is at what time, Ritika? Tomorrow? No class tomorrow. Okay, okay. On Friday only we are having.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, okay. Sorry,
Yes,
sorry. I
ma'am.
forgot. I forgot. Okay, so Friday 9:30 class. So the first start. So we'll discuss the these two laws on the Friday class. Okay, ma. Okay.
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 Okay,
Thank
ma'am.
you, pa. Thank you. Thank you so much.